Hi, this is Max Weinberg from the E Street Band, and you're listening to Rich and Josh, and you heard it on the X.
Hi, folks. Welcome back to Heard It on the X, the East Coast premier music talk show, going through the Led Zeppelin plagiarism allegations on the show. And we're joined by Jonathan Brown. If you're out there and you have a copyright, or you have copyright questions, get a hold of him at lglaw.com is the website. You can go there. You can get a complete list of all the lawyers there. But by all means, if you have anything, even if it's visual, anything at all, if you got any questions, don't fall in a situation where you wait 40 years to get what's rightfully yours.
Yes, I strongly advise if you think you have a copyright claim or you have a copyright question, don't just sit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not.
And you know, and in Jake Holmes, in fairness to Jake Holmes, maybe he just felt that's how it worked. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows his real...
I would be afraid to go against Led Zeppelin at that time.
And nobody knows his real motivation. The one thing I do want to say is we did offer a chance for Jake to come on. We talked to Dan Johnson, his lawyer. They're very nice guy. They were very upfront. They obviously can't talk about a lot of stuff because they got a case pending. Dan Johnson seems to be really in the know. He's got several other high-profile cases. I hope to get Dan on after this case is settled, and maybe we could get to the bottom of how things worked. I want to read something that Jimmy Page had said. We went to the commercial break, and we played When the Levy Breaks.
And the words were the same.
Kansas Joe McCoy recorded in 1929. Now, of course, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, the Yardbirds, they were huge American blues fans.
Yeah.
So they listened to a lot of it. And honestly, in my opinion, out of fairness to these guys, I think American blues music probably would have disappeared if it wasn't for the resurgence that the British guys, listened to it, recycled it their own way, and brought it back. I don't think we would know who Robert Johnson was if it wasn't for these guys. But here is what Jimmy Page said in a Guitar Player magazine interview in '93. As far as my end of it goes, I always tried to bring something fresh to anything that I used. I always made sure to come up with some variation. In fact, I think in most cases you would never know the original source. Maybe not in every case, but in most cases. So most of the comparisons rest on the lyrics. And Robert, meaning Robert Plant, was supposed to change the lyrics, and he didn't always do that, which is what brought us most of the grief. Okay, so what he's doing is he's blaming Robert Plant, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's kind of, giving Plant the show under the bus.
And out of fairness to Jimmy Page, if you did listen to When the Levy Breaks, the Zeppelin version, the music's completely different than the words. But let's listen to this next cut. We're going to listen to Black Mountainside, which is on Zeppelin 1. An original instrumental. There's no words for Robert Plant to lift, so we should be good on this one. Brilliant guitar playing.
Great song.
Open tunings. Just wonderful. Now let's listen to
Track 8.
Track 8. Now, you recorded this at Woody's last week?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Somebody was playing it at Woody's?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I wish that was the case, because the case of it is really, this is a Burt Jansch recording from 1966, 3 years prior to it showing up on Zeppelin 1. It's a song called Black Waterside. It does have lyrics. If you've ever listened to the song Black Waterside.
Yeah.
It does have lyrics. However, Jimmy Page's case with me doesn't hold water blaming Robert Plant, because there's no words to be stolen from that.
No,
Jimmy took the instrumental and lifted it exactly.
And if you're not a musician either, we should say it's not, it's not like it's something easy to, what I mean, easily mistaken.
No, especially a song like that. It's a pretty elaborate song.
It's a pretty elaborate song. And a lot of these that we'll get into are elaborate, and it's not something you can accidentally lift.
Exactly. We're going to go through a couple more of these quickly, and then we're going to have dialogue at the end of it. So let's go to track 9, which is also off Zeppelin 1.
Baby, I'm gonna leave you.
This is a song called Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. I play this a lot for Joshua to torment him when I pretend like I'm going to fire him.
I said, baby.
This brings back terrible memories of what you've done to me.
You know.
We got a lawyer here. Maybe he can help me out.
He said he was with Employment Services or something, so we'll talk later.
Okay, let's go to track 10.
Now, in fairness to Jimmy Page again, music.
I'm gonna leave
there's a 1963 recording of Joan Baez doing a cover of a song which she credited at least ethically proper.
To Ann Breeden.
Ann Breeden is the artist who wrote the song. Joan Baez covered it in '63, and actually, I didn't bring it with me, but I have seen on the internet several different cases of where Robert Plant's first meeting with Jimmy Page. Once again, getting back to the Led Zeppelin story again quickly, the Yardbirds were the original original Led Zeppelin. When everyone left the band, these are rumors too. The Yardbirds signed all their rights over to Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page did that in exchange to finish a tour that they had to finish.
They toured as the new Yardbirds.
And the new Yardbirds were Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, Jimmy Page, and John Bonham. Robert Plant and John Bonham coming from the Band of Joy. John Paul Jones floating around England, but I think he also did a lot of studio work too.
Did.
However, Jimmy Page by far had the most experience, and it was basically his band. Upon their first meeting, Robert Plant, and I had two different interviews where I heard this, he went to Jimmy Page's house and was played that cut by Joan Baez, where he says, he played me a Joan Baez song, what it was, and said, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, shades of light and shades of dark. So that's pretty damning.
Yeah, and I've seen that also before, so I mean...
Yeah, it's pretty damning. Now, track 11 and track 12. Let's hear a couple of these.
This is Since I've Been Loving You.
This is off Zeppelin 3, I think.
Yeah. This is 1970.
Zeppelin 3, I think. Yeah. Don't we have it yet?
Yep.
I don't think that's right. Working from 11 to 7 every night. Ought to make life a drag.
By a band called Moby Grape. An interesting story on Moby Grape. It's one of Robert Plant's favorite bands. So he figured he'd repay him by, lifting one of their tunes, I guess. And they opened for Zeppelin. Somewhere early on, they opened for Zeppelin.
Another story of them opening
for
Zeppelin.
Yeah, boy, it seems like if you came across these guys...
Don't open for Zeppelin.
Don't. This one, I give them a pass on, and we'll talk about this in a second.
Let's play 13.
This is track number 13. It's a drum solo by John Bonham, Moby Dick. I'm sure everybody's familiar with
Everyone knows Moby Dick.
Yeah, at least the lick to it, which I consider to be just normal blues lick. Can we go to track 14?
This is Watch Your Step by Bobby Parker.
Jonathan and I were talking, and we're gonna get Jonathan's thoughts on the whole thing soon. But I do think some of these songs deserve a pass, and I think this is one of them. This is just a blues lick, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just because there's some similarities, it doesn't mean there's copyright infringement.
Right.
I mean, there's only 12 notes in the scale.
Right, exactly.
So there's only so many variations, and the courts have routinely said that, we really have to consider that there are only just so many notes in a song.
Yeah. You have a finite number. You can't invent new ones. So
exactly.
This is also another one. Track 15 is I Can't Quit You, Babe, from Zeppelin 1. This is another pretty damning one, I think.
I can't quit you, babe. So I'm gonna put you down for a while.
We were track 16?
This is also called Can't Quit You, Babe.
Yeah.
This was in 1956, 13 years before.
I can't quit you, baby. I gotta put you down for a while.
Now right here.
The guitar licks are even exact.
That riff is
they are. They're exact. And once again, a lot of artists have taken from blues artists. I think Matt okay in there? You're giving away our show, buddy.